Okay, so our topic then will be about the differentiation rules. No? These are the basic rules for differentiation. Tandaan muna lang natin that behind these rules is our basic definition for the derivative of the function, no? Which is, as it's stated here, it's the limit of f of x plus h minus f of x over h as h approaches 0. So the first one is the constant rule. So it states that the derivative, so let's see, be a constant. So if f of x equals c, then f prime of x equals 0. It means to say that the derivative of any constant is equal to 0. So suppose you have kahit anong constant, no? Even if f of x equals 5, then for the derivative of x is equal to 0. Same thing if I have f of x being equal to the pi, or even f of x is equal to the e, derivative of your function here will always be equal to 0. So no matter what the value, so the derivative of the constant will always be equal to 0. So that's it. The second one is the power rule, one of the most important theorem or rule for differentiation is the power rule. This is the derivative of x to the n is equal to n x raised to n minus 1. So para bang kung naman yung power doon, it will be a multiply mo lang dito sa yung function sa x mo, and then yung sa taas mo will be reduced by 1. So if I have f of x be equal to x raised to the 10, therefore my f prime of x will just be equal to 10 x raised to the 9. So kung meron akong f of x equals x to the, let's say, negative 100, no? So ang f prime of x ko will be equal to negative 100 times x. Tapos ito ngayon, negative 100 minus 1 will be negative 101. Okay, ganon, no? If I have f of x be equal to x raised to 1/2, ang f prime of x ko will be equal to 1/2 x, tapos 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. Okay? So, laging ganun siya, no? Na meron kang the power. So, yung power mo, x, yung n doon, lilipat doon. Tapos, n minus 1 lagi. Minus 1 lagi yung sa power mo, new power. Okay, so this is what we call the power rule. Okay, next. We have what you call the sum, difference, and constant multiple rules. So, pag di sum and difference, ibig sabihin meron ka mga terms. At it states here that the derivative of f of x plus g of x is only equal to the derivative of f of x plus the derivative of g of x. Actually, you can extend this up to how many terms, no? At yung if you have also the subtraction here, kung minus man yan, so will just be minus here. So, ganun lang siya. Kaya difference rule naman pala yun. So, sum rule at saka difference rule, no? Wait, kita natin buo. Okay, so ito. So, the derivative of f of x minus g of x is equal to the derivative of f of x minus the derivative of g of x. Hence, for example, meron kang f of x be equal to x squared plus 2x minus 1. So, the derivative will just be equal to the derivative of x squared using the exponent. So this will just, the power rule, this will become 2x plus, okay, the derivative of this one is equal to 2, and the derivative of negative 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, the derivative, the f prime of x will be equal to 2x plus 2. Now, if I have f of x be equal to x to the 4th minus x cubed minus x, for example, plus 1 over x. So, pwede natin ayusin ito. Yung 1 over x natin is also the same as x raised to negative 1. This can be written as x to the 4th minus x cubed minus x plus x raised to negative 1. Hence, ang f prime of x ko will just be 4x cubed minus 3x squared minus 1 plus the derivative of this one, again by power rule, magiging plus negative 1 x raised to negative 1 minus 1, negative 2. Or Finally, your f prime of x will just be equal to 4x cubed minus 3x squared minus 1 minus x raised to negative 2, or can write that as 1 over x squared. Note lang ha, meron kayong x raised to negative m. This is equal to 1 over x to the m. At ang 1 over x raised to negative m, this is equal to x raised to positive m. Please take note of the rules on exponents para hindi ka naniligaw sa mga ganito. Okay. Next. Okay, ito yung constant multiple rule. The constant multiple rule states that kung meron kang constant multiplied to a function, now the derivative is only equal to the constant multiplied to the derivative of the function. Halimbawa, if I have 3x to the fifth, so suppose this is my f of x. So itong constant ko, pwede nakahiwalay na yan. Hence, I'll just have f prime of x will be equal to 3 times derivative of x to the fifth, this is 5x to the fourth. So, i-multiply na lang natin. The answer will just be equal to 15x to the fourth. Okay. Next, for example, if I have g of x be equal to 2 over x cubed. So, paano yan? So, ang g prime of x ko, ito pwede ko siyang isulat na lang ng 2x raised to negative 3. Kaya 2 multiplied to negative 3, then x raised to negative 3 minus 1, negative 4. So, ang sagot na lang natin will just be negative 6. X raised to negative 4, or simply negative 6 over x to the fourth. Kamukha ng sabi ko kanina, which is about the rules on exponents. Okay, so this is my g prime of x. Okay. Next. So wala na tayo dito. Wait ha. Okay, product rule. Okay, product. So, dun sa addition and subtraction, pwede kayong mag-differentiate term by term. But for the product, it's a different story. So, dito, hindi nyo pwedeng paghiwalayin tapos kukunin yung derivative bawat isa ng factors. Now, look at your formula. No? The derivative of the product is equal to the derivative of the first times the second plus derivative of the second times the first term. Or, since addition ito, pwede naman na magkabaliktad. So, dito tinasabi nila yung word sa Kapampangan na liwas-liwas. So, dapat yung derivative muna ng una, tapos pangalawa, tapos yung derivative naman ng pangalawa, times yung una. Halimbawa, meron kang f of x ko will be equal to x cubed plus 2x plus 3 multiplied to 3x to the fifth minus 2x, for example. Okay, so meron ka ngayong product. Meron kang dalawang factors. So, ang derivative ko will be, pwedeng ito munang kunin kong derivative. Okay, derivative of the first one, ang derivative nito, itong portion muna na to. Ang derivative niya by the previous rules on differentiation, this will be 3x squared plus 2. Okay, times ito. Huwag nyo munang kukunin ng derivative nito. Plus, derivative naman nitong pangalawa, which is equal to 15x to the fourth minus 2 times yung ito, huwag nyo naman gagalawin ito, you just write it, you just copy it, that's 3. Okay, so ito na siya. So this is then the derivative of your f of x. Or pwede rin naman na baliktad, pwede mauna ito, tapos multiply. Kasi ito, this is addition, therefore, pwede naman na maging commutative. No? So we're following commutative property of addition. So pwede naman na the first times the derivative of the second plus second times the derivative of the first. But then, pwede naman na mauna muna yung derivative ng first times yung second plus yung derivative of the second times the first. Okay? Now, it will be like this. If, for example, hinihingi lang sa inyo is the derivative of the function, then you can write your answer in this way. So, tapos ka na. But then for some choices, for example, may kayong exam na multiple choice na kailangan expand so that you can see it from one of the choices. Kasi hindi naman ito yung nakalagay sa mga multiple choice ninyo, sa mga choices ninyo sa multiple choice exam, then you have to expand your function. But if not, if you are not asked to simplify your answer, then there's no need to simplify. You can express your derivative in this form already. I hope it's clear with you, na? So, ganun siya. Halimbawa, meron kang g of x be equal to, ano pa ba? X cubed plus 1 multiplied to 7x minus 3. So, ganun din siya. So, g prime of x will just be the first derivative of the first, the derivative of the first, no? Derivative of the first, that will be 3x squared. O 0 na kasi. Times the second. So, kopyahin mo lang. Okay, plus, don't forget the plus sign. Derivative of the second, that will be 7 times the first term. So, x cubed plus 1. So, yun. So, that is the product rule. Okay, may mga examples kayo dito. So, kayo na bahalang mag-apply ng mga examples. Okay, for example, itong checkpoint natin. So, what will be the j prime of x? So, derivative of the first. So, that will be 10x to the fourth. Okay, so derivative kasi nito. Times, do not change, ano to, wala kayong pakikialaman dito. 4x squared plus x. Plus, derivative naman ng pangalawa. That is 8x plus 1 times yung first term, 2x to the fifth. So, that's it. So, this should be your answer. No? Now, it's up to you if you would like to expand this, then combine terms that are similar. Pero kung hindi naman hihingi na sitwasyon, then this will be enough already. Okay, quotient rule. The quotient rule implies like this. So kung meron kang f of x over g of x, provided of course that your denominator will not be equal to 0 after you get the derivative, no? So as long as differentiable yung function ninyo, so paano ba yung itsura? Square nyo muna yung denominator. Okay, tapos yung sa taas will be the first term, the numerator. So dapat may print to, sorry. The derivative of the numerator times the denominator minus the derivative of the denominator times the numerator. Dito, hindi pwede magkabaliktad kasi minus yan. So, laging mauna yung derivative ng numerator bago nyo kukunin yung derivative ng denominator. Kaya, or sinasabi natin na low, okay, your denominator, no, times derivative of the high minus the high or the numerator times derivative of the low over low squared. So, low times derivative of the high minus high times derivative of the low all over low squared. O, halimbawa, meron kayong example, you have kang x squared plus 3 all over x cubed minus 2x plus 1. Suppose this is your f of x. So, your f prime of x will be what? So, yung sa baba will be the square niya. Ihanda nyo na to. Laging nakasquare yung sa denominator mo. Okay? So, tapos yung sa taas will be the derivative of the first, or sorry, the derivative of the numerator, or the high, derivative of the high. So, that will be equal to 2x na lang, no? Kasi 0 yon. So, yun muna yung una lagi. Laging mauna yung derivative ng nasa taas. Times mo yung denominator without the derivative, the original, no? X cubed minus 2x plus 1. Minus yung sa taas, yung sa baba naman, nakukunin kong derivative. Derivative niya ay 3x squared minus 2 times yung sa taas, which is x squared plus 3. Okay, so yun. So that's it. Ganun na siya. So the denominator times derivative of the numerator minus the derivative of the denominator times the numerator. No? So laging nauna yung derivative na nasa taas. And don't forget na between terms, it's a minus sign. So yun. Okay, example dito. So you can see, no, ang derivative niyan will be okay, so as you can see, the derivative of your denominator, you square your denominator, so yung numerator derivative of the numerator times the denominator minus derivative of the denominator times the numerator. And then, if hindi naman hihingi na situation, then tapos na to. Tapos na to. But then, if kailangan i-simplify, if you just need to simplify it, then this will be the answer. If not, then okay na tayo. Tapos ka na dito. Kasi if you're only asked to find the derivative, then you're already done here. Okay, checkpoint. Again, so you can get the product. The product you have, you can get the square of your denominator. So h prime of x will be equal to the square of your denominator. Tapos yung taas will be derivative of the numerator. So that's 3 multiplied to the denominator. Minus derivative of the denominator, which is 4, times the numerator. Yan. So yan. Now, if you want to expand it, okay lang. What will be the answer? If you will simplify it, okay, check ko lang, no? 4x minus 3, tapos ito 3x plus 1 times 4. Okay. So, it will become 12x minus 9. Minus, do not forget, no, yung minus sign mo doon, it will be 12x minus 4 all over 4x minus 3 quantity squared. So if you will simplify this, so makancel ng 12x, what will be left will be negative 13 all over 4x minus 3 squared. Okay, so this is then the derivative of your h of x. Okay, so in case of negative integer, it doesn't matter, no? Extended power rule, kamukha na sabi ko kanina that, halimbawa, meron kang 2 over x to the 5th. Suppose this is your f of x. So, pwede ko namang ilagay yan ng 2x raised to negative 5. Now, the derivative, still applicable pa rin yung power dito, power rule. So, derivative will just be negative 2 times negative 5 kay negative 10, x raised to negative 6. Kasi negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. Or negative 10 over x to the 6. Next, kaya ito, di ba? So, itong 6 over x squared. So, 6 over x squared. So, you can write that as 6x raised to negative 2. Kaya pag kinuha mo yung derivative nito, that will be negative 12x raised to negative 3. Or, the answer, no? This is f of x, f prime of x, no? Or the answer will just be negative 12 over x raised to 3. Yeah. So, that's the derivative. You can see it here. Okay, so, that's the answer, no? Okay, combining all the rules. So, ayan, pwede mo naman pagsamahin lahat-lahat eh. No questions? Before natin iwan to, meron din dito, which is what you call the reciprocal rule. Actually, this is parang yung extended naman siya. Kung may extended power rule, meron naman extended na division rule, no? Example, meron akong, ano ba siya? I have here reciprocal rule. It means if I have 1 over, if f of x is equal to 1 over g of x, then f prime of x will just be equal to, you square your denominator, kamukha nung sa pag meron kang division, and then negative of the derivative of your denominator, g prime of x. So, ganyan siya. Bawa, meron akong f of x be equal to 1 over x cubed minus 2x plus 1. So, f prime of x will just be, so denominator ko, x cubed minus 2x plus 1. Square that. No? So, yung extended division rule. And then yung numerator ko will be the negative of what? Negative of the derivative of this. So, negative of 3x squared minus 2. Or pwede ko nang ayusin naman yan. I will distribute the negative. This will become negative 3x squared plus 2 all over x cubed minus 2x plus 1 squared. So this is what you call the reciprocal rule. So yan na. So those are what you call the basic rules for differentiation. So, stop share ko na to. And then, end ko muna ang video.